So here you can see all these tables, but these tables are from my Excel file. So we have loaded these files from Excel file, and these are tables from SQL Server. We have imported it using direct query connectivity mode. Yeah, just to give you the flavor of right. So what is composite model, and so that's the reason why we have the mix of the composite. We have the mix or hybrid of both Excel as well as SQL Server imported it. Look here, this sales, this file data, this table data you cannot see here because we have used the direct query connectivity mode, and the same is applicable for this table, and data is from my Excel file, and this is my product data. Product data is also we have used direct query, and almost everything, not yeah, regions is Excel, and this is my Excel file. Okay, good. So now what we will do is we'll go back to this one, and we will see here. So here all the tables got, so we create a relationship for all the tables but except this table. How do we make sure that all the tables have relationship? The lines, you can see the lines are right. So these lines got connected to this one, and this one is connected to this table, is connected to this table using this link, this line. All these lines are solid line. So we can see when you import the tables, when you import the tables or files, Power BI automatically detect the relationship between the tables or files. So you can go and check here. So you have something called options and settings. When you go here, you have something called data load. When you select the data load here, you can find it here, import relationship from data source on first load, and auto detect new relationship after data is loaded, and detect column types headers for unstructured sources. So these are the two things, right? This is by default these two options got enabled. And also when it comes to date table, this one is by default enabled. So which means Power BI creates the date table on your behalf behind the scene. You don't have to create date table behind the scene. Sorry, you don't have to create the date table explicitly. You can leave it with Power BI. So he himself will create the date table behind the scene. That is what this option says. This is the default behavior. But when you disable it, the date table will not be, the Power BI created date table will get, it will not get created. So you need to create the date table on your own. Okay. So anyhow, I'm not going to disturb this. I just leave it as it is. So now you understood Power BI as the Power BI desktop has the capability to detect the relationship automatically. We don't have to set the relationship manually. But it is advisable. See, if you rely on the relationship detected by the Power BI, but still the best practice is what we do is we go to something called the manage relationship. You just click on it, go and check manually whether the relationship between the tables are correctly identified by the Power BI automatically, right? So here this is my fact table. The between these two table, customer and this fact table, it has chosen the customer key as the common column to link up these two table. And similarly, so order date key and date ID in product number and territory key and region number, right? So from this table, and ship date key and date ID, it automatically detected it. But in this case, what I did, right? So see, there are two things here. You need to keep in mind, or you need to remember it. This is a useful tip, and many of them they disregard it, and then they spend a lot of time in identifying the relationship and setting everything. See, in this case, what happened? If you notice here, date ID and order date key. Look here, first we will see this one, customer key and customer key. How Power BI detects the relationship between the tables automatically. If the column names are same, supposing in this is a fact table, as I told you, the fact table will have the combination of all the dimension tables keys in it, but the consumer key and customer key, right, the column names are different here. Only when the column names are same, supposing right here you have something called consumer key and here also consumer key, it automatically detects the relationship between these two tables. Since the naming convention used to define the customer key in the consumer table was different here, they did not specify consumer key but they mentioned customer key, hence Power BI will not detect the relationship automatically. I had set the relationship manually. How? Just by dragging and I knew very well this is the key column that I should use it to link up with this one. For example, to verify this, I just click on edit here. So here you have you can select whichever table you want, you can select it using this drop down thing. And here when I just look at it, just by eyeballing it, right, you can see this is the customer key and this is the customer key. But I have another column called customer ID here. Just by looking at this itself, we can make out, this cannot be your customer key. But in the customer table, the column name is customer key, whereas here consumer key. See, this is something wrong with the naming convention. This has to be taken care as part of the data modeling itself, right? So here ideally they are supposed to create as a consumer key. In real time scenario, there are some kind of the gap will be there when it comes to the naming convention. You need to make sure that while defining the relationship, right, you are doing it properly. But in this case, Power BI will not detect the relationship automatically. Please remember this. So we need to explicitly set the relationship. Either there are two ways you can create the relationship between the tables. One is you can just drag and drop it. For example, I knew very well, look here in the customers, consumers table, right? In this table, in this table, I knew very well the customer key and here consumer key, right? Here consumer key. This customer key is related to the consumer key. The common column between these two tables are consumer key here and here the customer key. I just dragged and dropped it. This is one way of creating the relationship between the tables. Let us say here also I have the customer key, here also I have the customer key. Then Power BI will create the link automatically. The naming convention of the column names are not common, right? So not same. Then you need to create it manually. The one way of the creating relationship is just simply drag and drop the relevant columns. Here the customer key is, I just dragged and dropped it on top of this consumer key. So that's how the relationship got created. Since I already created, there is already a relationship between these two columns. That's what I can say. There is another way of creating a relationship. Click on the manage relationship. When you open this, you can see it. So what you do is, in that case, if you are creating a new relationship, click on this new button and you select the tables. Here you can select either the consumer's data first, you can select in any order, but make sure that you are choosing the correct columns between these two tables. Here the customer key, right? So make this relationship active. There is already a relationship between these two tables. Just for you guys to understand, right, how to create the relationship using manage relationship, I just demonstrated this. Since already relationship exists between these two, you don't have to do this one. This is another way of creating the relationship between the tables. Fine, but this is very much helpful, right? So kind of a foolproof, right? You can make sure that you are establishing the relationship between the tables with the relevant columns, right? You are not making, because there is something confusing here. Customer ID, mistakenly if you drag and drop the customer ID on top the consumer, where is this, the consumer key, what will happen is this one and this one will get linked up when you create any chart, and when you drag and drop the customer and sales, right, it will not show the correct value. Hope you understood. Okay. And if you want to delete, you can delete it. If you want to edit the exist relationship, right, you can do it. So in this case, I just all of them, I created it manually, and except the product number. So the product number between these two tables are same. The column names are same. Hence, it automatically detected the relationship. And similarly here, manual. Here also manually we did it. Okay. When I select this one, you can see it is single relationship. Okay. Ship date and date ID. Date ID. Okay, this is a different table altogether. Fine. So again, so the same thing, one to many, right? Here, if you notice here, I just repeat one more time. So the one side. So if you see the product table, right, along with the product table, you can see one here. That means the product table will have, for each product, the product data table will have only one product. There is no duplicate. The same is applicable for all the tables which have one side of it. So this table has one on this side, right? So okay. So the star is many style. So this table will have multiple products, multiple customers, multiple date, different dates, or a customer would have ordered the products, multiple products on the same day at different point in time, and right. So that is the thing, and across the regions also, right, multiple regions. So this will have multiple records, whereas it should have, for each record, it should have only one unique records in it. So that's what it says. With this, you can make sure that, okay, the relationships are correctly defined. Here there is no relationship. Let us ignore this at this moment. Okay, now let us understand what is active relation and inactive relation. The solid line, you can see the solid line between the dimension tables with the fact table here. So I call it a fact table, okay, the sales data table, right? So you can see the links between these tables are very solid, right? We don't see any dashed line. Okay, now what I do is I just go to my report canvas. I just select the table visual, and I just use my date table here. So what I do is I want to check the quarter wise sales. Before that, I just go to my sales table. I need to have the sales amount. Here I just pick up the quarter from here. I just check mark it. Automatically it will get dragged and dropped here. And what I do is I just move this up. So each quarter, what is the total sales? As I demonstrated a while back, the moment when you drag and drop a categorical variable along with the measure, this one will get filtered automatically, right? So the overall value, right? So this one got filtered automatically by quarter. Quarter wise, what is the total sales? What is the what is the total sales for this quarter 2? It did the filtering automatically. So currently, if you notice here, the date table, if I keep a date ID in order date, so just if you hover the cursor, you can see the columns that we used between these two tables, right, to link up this table, right? So you can see the columns which we used it. So date ID on the left side, left side order date key, and the right side date ID. These two columns we use to create the relationship between these two tables. Okay, so now we have filtered the sales table using the order date, right? So the date table filtered the, because we create the relationship between the date ID and the order date key. Hence my date table filter my sales data table by this order date key. Hence what we see here is sales amount by quarter by order date. Order date. Next one is, I have 3 date columns are there in this table. Order date key, and I have something called ship date key. Ship date key. And also I have something else called due date key. Anyhow, so now let's not worry about due date key. Now I wanted to see the sales amount by ship date. Ship date. So in that case, I need to, only when I link up these two columns, date ID with ship date key. Earlier we linked up the date ID with order date key. Now I need to link up these two columns, because one of my use cases, this one, ship date key and date ID is correct. So here you can see cardinality, one-to-many relationship. Okay, date ID has only, this date column also will have, date table will also have only unique values in it. Okay, it should not have any duplicate values in the date ID. This we will discuss it later, how to create date table. That time I will explain it in detail. At this moment you just think even the date table also will have unique values in the date ID. But whereas this is a many site, so the ship date key and these two are matching. So year, month, date, everything is correct and is a single. The cross filter direction is single. Fine. Now I create a relationship between date ID and ship date key, because I want to filter the ship date key in order to slice and dice my sales amount. Okay, I just go here. So what I do is, I just show you, one second, I discussed about 2 types of relationship at an high level as part of Power BI desktop, isn't it? One is active relationship, other one is inactive relationship. If you notice here, when I established the relationship between the date ID and ship date key, it created a relationship by creating a link, right? This line. But this is dashed line. This is not a solid line. That means this is an inactive relationship. This is an active relationship. You can create active relationship between tables. You can create only one active relationship between tables at a time. So in my requirement, right? So I need to create multiple relationship between these two tables. But Power BI supports, as of now, you can create only one active relationship between the tables at a time. If you want to create additional relationship, it is possible, but when whatever you created later point in, that and all will be considered as a inactive relationship. But only when you, only the active relationship can propagate the filters to your this table. See here, it propagates the filters to this table, right? So only the active relationship can filter this table. The inactive relationship will not filter this table. So now the situation is, my manager is asking me to show me a report wherein he is interested to see the sales amount by ship date by quarter. Since it is inactive, it will not do the filtering. What should I do now? So there are 2 options that are available in order to enable this inactive relationship as an active relationship, right? So unless you make it active, you cannot filter this. there are two options that are available. One is we can use a DAX function. There is something called use relationship, using which you can activate this relationship during the calculation or computation of the measure, during the course of the computation of the measure. So we are saying a use relationship function. The other option is, so why to have the inactive relationship? Why should I convert as active? I don't want to do that. The other option is you can use something else called role playing dimension. What do you mean by role playing dimension? Simply copy paste this, duplicate this date table. When you duplicate this one, obviously both the table will have the same data in it. In that case, what you can do is you can remove this relationship, and I just renamed this duplicated date data table with some meaningful name like ship date data. What I do is I just create the relationship date ID and my ship date key. So it's fine, everything is good. I just click on OK. So one-to-many relationship. Look here, it will take some time to create the link between the date ID and the ship date key. Look here. Now this is an active relationship and this is an active relationship. I just duplicated this date table, but in this case what happens? This is called role playing dimension. The same dimension, the single dimension plays multiple role. Using this data dimension table, I can filter order date key. Using this dimension, I can generate the total sales amount by ship date. Okay. Now let us go to the report canvas. We'll start with this role playing dimension and we'll see what happens here. I just go and select a visual, table visual, and instead of selecting the date from this one, I'm going to use the quarter from this one. I just select quarter from this one, and I just go and select the sales amount from this. Can we see any difference between these two? Yes. This is, if I select this visual, you can find out from which table I have used the columns, from which table which columns I have used for this visual. You can see with the tick mark, you can see it here. The sales amount as usual, right? Here also I use the sales amount from this table, but the quarter I have used it from my ship date data table. Instead of from this date data, I have used this from this, because this date column, right, I linked up with my ship date key here. So this report shows the sales amount by ship date by quarter. But here there is a subtle difference. 40 lakhs here. Quarter 1 the revenue is same, and quarter 2 the revenue is not same. But in quarter 3 also the revenue is not same, but whereas in quarter 4 the revenues, right, somehow it offsets, right, the differences here. Overall, if you see the total same, it does the filtering perfectly. Supposing if I go here and I just remove this relationship, let's see what happens. Look here, it is not doing the filtering. It is repeating the same value for each quarter. Since you need to have the relationship, yes, we have done this. By creating the duplicate or the date table, we are able to eliminate the need of creating a inactive relationship between the tables. But now the situation is, in this table I have 3 columns, date columns are there. For each date column, if I create the duplicates, I will have more number of tables. Then already, let's say, in this case we have less number of dimension. When it comes to real terms, you will be having 18, 20 dimension tables. 2 fact tables will be there. Each fact table, let's say you have 3 columns, 6, and the number of tables will get spiked up. But when it comes to date dimension table, the number of records are less. The number of records are less. You can afford to have that, but it is not always good. Okay, so to using the role playing dimension. But if you want to combine these two values, let's say you want to combine the sales summoned by order date and sales summoned by ship date in a single visual, it is not possible. Just give it a try. It's not directly, there is no straightforward way of doing it. Okay, you cannot combine it. But end of the day, we are able to filter the sales table using the same dimension, right? We are able to sell. So with this date dimension, we are able to filter this table by the order date key, and with this we are able to filter this table by the ship date key. Now we are able to get the required output. Good. So you might be wondering, what is the difference between these two, right? You might be wondering, what is the difference from the business point of view, right? You might be wondering, what is the difference between these two? It's something like, let's say you are some customers, right? The day when they order it, the same day they make the payment. They use credit card or debit card. They make the payment. Something like same day collection. Okay, and at the time of shipment, there are some customers, they make the payment. They don't make the payment upfront, right? The simple example is, I just this is not required anyhow for you to understand, right? Many of them, they get confused. The same table, why should I create multiple date table? Why should I link up a different date column? Let's say today is 31st March. Let us assume that way, okay? Or 2021. Where order number is, let's say ORD 001, and you have something called amount column. This is your order date, and you have another column called ship date. The ship date is, let's say, the 3rd April. So in this case, what happened? The customer, the bill amount is 5,000. The customer is made the payment on the same date. The ship date is different. Okay, let's say I have another order. On the same day, another customer, he ordered another product, and here the shipment date is same. Okay, but if you see here, on the same day he did not make the payment. On 3rd April only he made the payment. If you filter it on the order date, what will happen is, on the 31st March, you have blank here. Sorry, here, let's say this customer bill amount is 2,000, right? So if you filter it by this, what will happen is, on 31st March it will show 7,000. But if you filter it here what will happen is on the 3rd April, right? Yeah, let's say something like this. Yeah, if you filter it by this ship date, right? 3rd April. 3rd April, here it is blank, or something else. Sorry, I just confused you. Let's say this way. Let's assume that for the sake of argument, right? So 31 March. Okay, the same day, right? Ship date and order date same, and the amount is same. So now here, when you filter this by March month, right? March month, or let's say you have something, you need to have another column here. So order date. So what I'm trying to say is the sale amount, you'll be receiving it on the shipment date only, right? So it will not be on the same date on the day when they order it, right? So the order date. But if you do this one, let's see what happens here. If you do it based on the filter, or let's you just select only the April sales amount is 2000. I just clear the filter here. And if you filter it by this one, right? If I go by the March month, look here, it shows 7,000. Okay, here order date is this one, and ship date, yeah. But when you use, yeah, it's correct only, right? In this case, it is correct. April month, you have received the payment for the 31st March. For 31st March order, you received it on 3rd April. Actually, this one supposed to be part of your March month only, right? But when you filter by ship date, it shows you have the sale for this one, right? But you wanted to understand this one. You want to understand. So, when the collection happened. Now you understood, right? The difference between the filtering the order date and this one. Though it shows more, but the ship date, with that you are able to understand, okay, when the payment we received for this order. Now you understood, right? Okay, good. So, for that reason only, we are filtering the sales table by order date and ship date. So that's the reason why we are seeing some kind of difference here. Understood? So now we have used the role playing dimension to filter these two table. So now the situation, let's say the customer is raising concern, or somebody is raising concern, I don't want so many date table. But here, still I want you to create a relationship between the date ID and ship date ID. Why so many date tables? I don't need it. We could see an inactive relationship between these two tables now for these columns, right? Ship date key. But the inactive relationship will not filter this table. Is there any way we can activate this? Temporarily we can activate it using DAX function. Let us see how we can implement that with the DAX function. What I do is, since I remove the relationship, it is now you ignore these two, but you can just but this one still holds good. And what I do is I just create another visual, and before that I just go to modeling tab Or what I do is, instead of going there, I just click on this three dots. This is called ellipses. I just click on it and I create a new measure. This is the best practice. If you want to create any new measure, you select the appropriate table and you can create it there. But still, to keep all the measures, it is not, the best practice is keep all the measures in a separate table. We call this a measure table. We'll discuss this when I start the DAX training session. Okay, so now we will find out the sales by ship date. I'm going to use a function called calculate. This is a DAX function. Here what I do is sum of sales amount and here what I have something called use relationship. This is a DAX function. Here what I do is I specify the inactive relationship, right? The columns that we use to create the inactive relationship. What columns that I used to create inactive relationship? The ship date key from this table, and then the date data table. Date data table. See, look here. This time I'm not using other table. The same table, date data. I'm going to select it here. I'm going to link this with my date column. So here in the use relationship function, it takes two arguments. So you need to specify the columns that you created it, right? So column that you used it between the tables, right? To create the inactive relation, you need to specify it. But still, you should have created the relationship between these two columns in this pivot. Okay, so the modeling view, you should have created it, the relationship between these two columns, even though it is inactive relationship. Okay, that is mandatory. That is a prerequisite. And next, you can use this function to activate the inactive relationship as a active relationship till the duration of this computation. This activation, inactive relationship will become active, will be active only till this computation is done. Once this has been done, once the total sales or sum of sales amount is computed, that value will get stored, and then the relationship between these two tables will become inactive. Temporarily we are activating it. That's all in simple terms. Can use only two columns. Okay, here here I did not use the look here. I just, this one is related to this one and this one is related to this one, and what is this for? I think I put additional parenthesis. No, it's correct only, right? Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Let me just. Function can only use column references, the participating relating use element function can only use the two columns. Yes, use two columns only, right? And okay, here I think because of this confusion it is coming. Date, ship date, right? So I just still some issue is coming here. Let me go and check the relationship. Yes, sometimes the relationship is not correct. Date ID and date key, and this is date ID and date ID, right? So I have used date ID only, right? Oh, okay. I did not use the proper column. That's the problem. This is the one has the unique value in it. Now you see there is a small mistake, and you need to make sure that you are giving the correct column name between these two table, right? Though it is inactive relationship, right? Using these two columns, we are able to activate the inactive relation by active temporarily, okay? But the prerequisite is still this physical link should be there, okay? First you need to create that one, and then you need to create a measure. Now we don't see any error here. Next what I do is I use the same, instead of using shift date data, I use the same this table, and what I do is I just go and select the quarter. Okay, it use some other table. So now I'm going to use the sales amount. This is sales by ship date, and what I do is I'm going to select this is sales amount by order date. The measure, this is the one, this is where we temporarily activate the inactive relation by active relationship. So now we can combine sales by ship date and sales by order date. We can see it, right? So both of them are having the total sales same, but whereas here the difference is there, like I showed in my Excel, right? There will be some kind of difference here. Here we have 63,000, but ship date we collected only this much, but here we have less, but on the ship date we collected, the shipment time, right, we collected money, all the things. Net all the four quarters put together, the total sales is tallying here. So now you understood the two approaches which you can use to activate the inactive relationship. One is using a DAX function, use a relationship. The other approach is duplicating the date dimension, and then, right, so creating two active relationship, right? So one active relationship is between date data and order date key, and other active relation between these two. But this is better. So only when you see measures, we have, this is called measure. Look here, when you click on this, you can give whatever name you want it, okay? Here, since I want to give some meaningful name for this column, I've used this one. And calculate is a function using which you can call other function also. And here the first one is the aggregation I did it, and I enable the inactive by active relationship, till the duration of this one, that one will be active, this one will be active, and once this computation is done, over. Only when you drag and drop this measure, this relationship will be active, right? So that's all, okay? So this one will be computed, the sales amount is computed on the fly. That's what I'm trying to say. Only during the computation of the sales amount, this one will become active. Now you understood, using these two approaches, two different approaches, we can enable the inactive relation by active relationship. Any questions so far? So in the next session, we will look at the cross filter direction. That is also a very interesting one. That one we will see it in the next session, and then we will take a look at as part of data modeling. If you know only that one, right, that part, that, and again date table, we will see how to create date table using DAX function. Using DAX function to create the date table is pretty simple. We will discuss this in the upcoming session, Wednesday, okay? Same time we will continue the next session. Okay. Any questions so far? Or you hope you are able to, all of you are able to understand, right? Fine. Since you don't have any questions, I'll just share the video. Just go through on it, and also we'll share the data files. I will store it in the latest data file. I'll upload it in the GitHub. I'll share that to you all. You can download it and start practice it by watching my video. Okay. Fine. Since you don't have any questions, I'm going to end the session now.